Let's work our way through some practical examples now, so you kind of have to work it out for yourself. Here's the first example sentence. We're saying, you were dancing with him when he kissed you for the first time. Let's remove this question mark, so it's just a statement. Obviously, we could also do it as a question if we wanted to. So, analyzing the sentence, here we have the background. You were dancing with him. That's the action that was ongoing. When, the separator, he kissed you for the first time. Here we have the action, some dot in the past. And I've put the word the in brackets because you would say it obviously in English, but in Spanish they would leave it out. They would just say when he kissed you for first time. So how would you say that in Spanish? Try to work it out. Estabas bailando con él cuando te besó por primera vez. First time. Here we have our line ing in the past. Estabas bailando con él. So you were, this is the ongoing action that was happening in that moment. Cuando he kissed you, te besó, for first time, por primera vez. Again, we're using por and not para because this is first time, right? Something mathematical there, the first time. How would you say this one? It happened while I was paying the bill. Pasó mientras estaba pagando la cuenta. Here we have the sentence reversed, so it happened, pasó. That's the dot, whatever it was. And then while, the separator here, mientras. I was paying the bill. In that moment, this action was what was going on. So we have pagar goes to pagando. Estaba pagando la cuenta. Try this one. They were crossing the street when they saw me. Estaban cruzando la calle cuando me vieron. Once again, we have our background here. What action was ongoing at the time? They were crossing the street. Separator, when, and dot in the past, they saw me. So, estaban cruzando la calle. They were crossing the street. Cuando me vieron. So, this is coming from the verb ver, to see. So, they saw me, me vieron, because it's a regular verb. I was having dinner when they called me last night. How would you say that? Estaba cenando cuando me llamaron anoche. Or you could also throw anoche up front here too. Anoche estaba cenando. Once again, we have cenar is to have dinner. Cenar, to have dinner. So I was having dinner. Estaba cenando cuando me llamaron, when they called me. What were you doing when I called you? ¿Qué estabas haciendo cuando te llamé? So, what were you doing? ¿Qué estabas haciendo? I'm implying with that what action or what thing was happening, what was ongoing in that moment when I called you. So again, it's the same structure, separated by when, and we have the dot here and the line here. ¿Qué estabas haciendo cuando te llamé? And in response to that, you might say something like, I was cleaning the house. And you can use the past ing here as well. So how would you say that? I was cleaning the house. Estaba limpiando la casa, because limpiar is to clean. So limpiar goes to limpiando. So, estaba limpiando la casa. Because the question here that's being asked is what action was ongoing when I called you? And while you're saying this action was ongoing, estaba limpiando la casa. So let's look at this once more. If we go back to our verb hablar, we could have hablaba, meaning I was talking, just the standard thing. Hablaba, I was talking. But now we have also estaba hablando, which also means I was talking. And we could say hablaba con tu papá cuando something happened, which is the one that really doesn't sound very natural. It sounds much more natural to use this line ing, estaba hablando con tu papá cuando whatever it was happened. So it's very important that you understand that difference. And as we practice more and more, you'll find yourself naturally falling into this and actually enjoying using this estaba hablando because, or with whatever verb it may be, because once you get the hang of this ando and yendo sound, it's actually very easy to conjugate the verbs using that faster than the other ways that we've been doing actually. So it's a nice thing that can quicken up your Spanish too, using this line ing, and of course your Spanish will sound a lot more natural using it that way rather than this way sounds forced. It sounds like you really don't know what you're doing in Spanish very well, and this one sounds perfectly natural. Now I'm going to give you two more sentences to test you, and I want you to think your way through them very carefully and try not to rush because there are some tricky bits in there. So here's the first one for you. We were walking down the street when suddenly a dog attacked us and I had to call the police for help. If there are words or verbs that you don't know here, then just go look them up quickly on Google Translate or your own Spanish dictionary to find them, and see if you can actually just write this down rather than actually say it out. See if you can write it down on a piece of paper how you think you would say that in Spanish, and be careful with dots and lines and things like that. So try to do that now. Okay, so here it is. Estábamos caminando por la calle cuando de repente un perro nos atacó y tuve que llamar a la policía por ayuda. So we have the scene here, the action that was ongoing. Estábamos caminando. We were walking down the street por la calle. Now we have our separator, cuando. Suddenly is de repente. A dog attacked us. This is a dot in the past. It's not a dog was attacking us, but it's more of like a dot. A dog attacked us. Un perro nos atacó. Us, he attacked. Now here some of you I think got caught out. Y tuve que llamar a la policía. This is also a dot because we called the police. That's a completed action, an event. In that moment, it was again another dot. I called the police, or I had to call the police. Tuve que llamar a la policía. And we use por here because what's the reason why? You can see for here. So remember that por is the reason why. So the reason why I called the police was in order to get help. If you made mistakes in that, it's quite normal, and it's all part of the process. So we have to be very careful when we're talking in this way. These sentences now are getting more and more sophisticated. And so there's lots of little nuances that we have to be aware of. So let's look at it once more here. So we were walking. This is the scene. Estábamos caminando down the street, along the street, whatever, por la calle. Cuando de repente, when suddenly a dog attacked us, un perro nos atacó. And I had to, this one is tricky. It's not I was having to call the police, but I had to call the police in that moment. That's a dot. This is also a handle, right? To have to, but it's in the past as a dot. So it's tuve que llamar a la policía. There was another thing. Because look, here we have a verb, and here we have some type of personal people. So what happened? The personal a got thrown in there. See how all these little nuances start to creep in the longer and more sophisticated our sentences become. So, tuve que llamar a la policía por, which is the reason why, ayuda. Okay, here's another one for you. Today, while I was waiting in the queue at the supermarket, I saw my husband with another woman. How would you say that in Spanish? Hoy, mientras estaba esperando en la cola en el súper, vi a mi esposo con otra mujer. Here we have today, while, hoy mientras, I was waiting, estaba esperando en la cola, in the queue, en el súper, in the supermarket. This is the action that was ongoing at the time when this happened. Vi a mi esposo con otra mujer. Again, notice that we have, oops, let's turn this back. Notice that we have the personal a because I saw my husband. Here we have the verb, right? And this is people or person. So we have to throw in personal a here. Vi a mi esposo con otra mujer, with another woman. This sentence doesn't have the cuando or the mientras to separate it, but you can still see that this sentence contains background information, something that was going on in that moment, even though it's in the past. This was what was happening in that moment when this action happened here. So this is, or these are very good examples of when it sounds perfectly natural to use this past ing, estaba esperando.